to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Those of you who enjoyed a 3-day weekend, happy Veterans Day to each and every one of you guys, especially those who did go out and service and military and all that. Whether it's the Marines, the Navy, basically if you went inside the military, we obviously appreciate all your hard work, dedication, and sacrifice, of course. So thank you guys so much. So glad we can continue watching professional wrestling. Just sitting in our comfortable chairs and you know barbecuing. I'm just kidding, no, but obviously we do appreciate those who served in the U.S. military. So yeah, I hope you guys had a great weekend. We have a great show for you today lined up. We're gonna talk about WWE Smackdown. It was a good one. It was pretty good. Then we're gonna talk about WWE Monday Night Raw. Then we're going to talk about the United States Women's Championship finally is unveiled. Finally, with the emphasis of finally. Man, it took them quite a while. I got to be honest. It took them quite some time. And to be being brutally honest, I wasn't too sure when it was going to come. Recently, on WWE SmackDown, you've seen the inaugural WWE Women's Speed Champion, Candace LeRae, not even proudly carrying around her belt, which kind of gave me, bad vibes. I was like, all right, wow, WWE has a chance to introduce kind of like a version of like a mid-card women's title, and then they don't want them to be proud and take it out and on with their match against Bayley, and I don't, it was it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So we're gonna talk about that in our third segment. We're gonna talk about possible champions, people that would make sense holding the title on SmackDown. And then, fourth segment, we're going to talk about the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, going out on a limb here, maybe, just maybe, I feel like since they did introduce the Women's United States Championship, it's just a matter of time until they introduce the Women's Intercontinental. Obviously, WWE Raw has already aired on the East Coast, so maybe they have or maybe they have not. There was also talks of maybe the United States Champion, the Women's United States Championship would be kind of defended across both the red and blue brand. But yeah, we're just gonna play around with the idea a little bit if they introduce an Intercontinental Championship on WWE Raw. And then in our fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about veterans. We're going to talk about wrestlers that served time in the military. The Marines, the Navy, anywhere. So yeah, we're going to dig on into that. Got a great show for you today for you guys who do not go absolutely anywhere. But before we start the action, of course, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, whether if you got a burning question or hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears, 1,010%, 10%. The show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on air, why not use that super chat? It's a $ below that chat box right there. Anything you put inside that box is going to be guaranteed to be featured, maybe debated about on the show. Also, it's a great way to support our channel, to support the GSMC Sports Network. Your super chats obviously helps us keep the lights on to bring you even more awesome content that you guys love so much with these amazing podcasts and these passionate podcasters that we have here at the network. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's get the conversation going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat, not your thing. It's cool. Hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. Disagreements are going to happen, criticisms, and it's all good. It is all good in the neighborhood, guys. Just want to make sure that you guys feel like you guys are having fun watching this podcast, as fun as I am, doing it. I don't want to be here yelling at the mic for an hour long. Definitely would love a lot of audience engagement. We'll love to hear what you guys' opinions, maybe your hot takes. Sometimes, people who do participate in the chat, they come up with some pretty good, some pretty good theories, some pretty good, possible storylines. So, definitely, yeah, don't be too shy and go ahead and, well, watch it. It's awesome. And go ahead and just drop whatever you feel. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We're going to talk about a first segment, which is some WWE SmackDown. Like I said, it was actually It's actually a pretty good episode. Roman Reigns and the Usos kicked off SmackDown. You saw, Jay Uso telling Roman Reigns that, hey, just hear him out. Sami Zayn coming out. A lot of people didn't think he was going to show, and Sami Zayn made it adamant that he only came out at Crown Jewel to help Jay. And being brutally honest, he was like, I kind of like the way it felt with all four of us inside the ring. Breath of nostalgia, good old times. Once when it gives Sami Zayn like a sense of family. And right now on WWE, he doesn't really have that many more other like storylines besides this. So you can bet that Sami Zayn is going to be in this Bloodline storyline and for the long run. It's kind of crazy. He said it was very special time when four of them were inside the ring. It got a little wacky. I got to be honest, it got a little wacky when he was looking at Roman Reigns. He was like, I think you love me, and everybody was like, what is going on? And, like he tried so hard to get Roman to break character. Jimmy broke character. He was laughing, he was smirking, he was smiling right behind Roman Reigns, and I thought that was kind of funny. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, Roman Reigns actually stuck his ground. But it's kind of crazy. And he said the only thing that I want you to do is apologize to not me, but apologize to Jay. And then Roman Reigns is, as cocky and kind of showing signs that maybe he's not completely over himself. He's like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to let you waste my time with this. Like, this guy doesn't even matter. He's not blood. He's not honorary. He's not family. Like, and it was kind of sad. And then of course you saw Sami Zayn, ultimately take out, kind of look a little somber. And then Roman Reigns, he made it personal, made it seem like he didn't really need Sami. Made it seem like what he did at Crown Jewel was no accident. So I think that, obviously at the end of the show we had a little bit more clarification about this, but I still think there's going to be some trust issues. There definitely has to be some lingering animosity between, because after everything that Roman Reigns has done to Sami Zayn, after everything Roman's done for and to Jay, and it's just that constant like looking over your shoulder is actually it's going to create for some entertaining storylines on SmackDown. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. But Jay wasn't happy as well. Jay wasn't happy, and back, after the in-ring promo, you saw a backstage promo where Roman Reigns told Jay like basically, he's not one of us. Why do you care so much? And he just I don't know. And then Roman Reigns, disrespected Jey Uso. Jey Uso said this was his one and only pass. Jimmy Uso at the same time was kind of he looked upset too with Roman Reigns. He was kind of like, dude, like, oops, what are you doing, man? You're burning away. You're like turning away all the allies we got. And obviously, Roman Reigns was like, "Oh, well, then we'll get you back." Like it was just, I don't know. It was very it was good. It was, I would give overall the, everything that's happening with the Bloodline, this SmackDown would probably be like an 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty badass. I thought it was kind of cool. Next, we see a match between Bayley take on Candace LeRae, but first they introduced that Elimination Chamber this year. In March is going to take place in the Toronto Blue Jays Stadium. So I thought that was actually pretty badass. Bayley, she faked an injury for the roll up to defeat the WWE Women's Speed Champion Candice LeRae, which once again, don't understand why she didn't come out with her belt. Don't really, if WWE was planning on pushing her like with this title win, like I get it. I understand how you don't want to make Bayley look too weak, but at the same time, you also don't want to make Candice look like you don't want to make the WWE Speed Champion holders like look, I guess like what's the right word? Like you don't want to make them seem like that's the only title they can win, because once they're on the main roster, like Raw or SmackDown, they can't win. Like for the men's, the Intercontinental Championship, the United States, the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, Basically, they don't want WWE Speed to be kind of looked at as like, kind of like a joke. Kind of fall into that like 205 Live category that a lot of people. That's the reason why I felt like it was canceled and was off the air. Was not a lot of people kind of took it seriously. It was I think it was an hour show after it aired after SmackDown. Yeah, I think it aired after SmackDown on well, it was the WWE network at the time. So, but I don't think they're doing such a good job with the WWE speed thing. And that's, obviously my opinion, 1,010%. If you guys have something different, make sure you guys hit it up in the chat. I just, you don't make the champions look, you don't make them look strong. You don't make them look marketable. You don't make them look as if they're champions. And, that kind of sucks, man, especially with Candace LeRae, who's put in a lot of time in WWE. And it sucks I think there was an interview with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. They were like the parents of Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell looked up to them, like wrestling, like wrestling parents and stuff like that. That kind of sad that she left. Next, we see Johnny Gargano backstage congratulated the Motor City Machine Guns on their WWE Tag Team Championship win. His partner Tommaso Ciampa didn't look too. He looked upset. He looked pissed. It seems like maybe we might be getting the Black Heart back, but you've broken these two guys up before. The WWE tag team picture on SmackDown, even on Raw, it looks weak. These guys, they can't break up. They can't break up. They have to find a way to kind of make this storyline work with Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Obviously, Johnny Gargano's been a huge they've been a huge impact on Johnny Gargano's career when he was younger. So something's got to give. I just don't want Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano to fight it out, break up DIY once again. I think that would be pretty awful. Randy Orton comes out, addresses the WWE Universe. His throat was super hoarse. So it looked like it was planned that he went out there to probably say a total of like maybe like 20 to 30 words, and he looked like he wasn't having it. So then he just he called Kevin Owens to get your ass out here. And then Kevin Owens came out, and then he delivered an illegal move, the pile driver, on Randy Orton, and Randy Orton sold it, super perfectly. They bundled him up, put him on a stretcher, got him on a gurney, put him inside the ambulance. The ambulance drove away with the sirens and everybody being like, "Oh my god!" And later on in the show, Michael Cole provided like an update, like obviously super kayfabe. I think we all know that. But I don't know. And the look on Kevin Owens' face, it seems like he's completely on a different character path. Like I was mostly, I was kind of against him going full heel. Like if he was, I don't know, I kind of wanted him to maintain that, stable like middle ground with Randy Orton, but now they need a villain because right now Roman and Solo Sikoa, they're too consumed with themselves, and that's the way it's going to be for quite some time. So obviously they're gonna have to start building like another repertoire of superstars that could fight for Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes obviously came out and accompanied his friend Randy Orton, and left with him to the hospital. So I thought that was kind of crazy. DIY defeated a pretty deadly. Well, should I say Tommaso Ciampa unhinged? He basically won all by himself. It was crazy. He destroyed Pretty Deadly single-handedly. Once again, like I said, hope it's not gonna be the breakup of DIY, but I thought that was kind of crazy. Jada Bianca Belair take on Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Candace LeRae try to get involved to impress Nia Jax, trying to kind of butter her up and stuff like that, because not to trust Tiffany Stratton. Maybe she becomes like the new sidekick of Nia Jax once when Tiffany Stratton decides to move on and finally stick up for herself. Motor City Machine Guns take down A-Town Down Under. I thought it was a decent effort by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, although I'm still kind of banking on them breaking up. But with this new tag team division revitalized, thanks to the introduction, or the damn it, what am I trying to say? Thanks to the Motor City Machine Guns coming to WWE, who kind of revitalized this tag team division. Maybe they're not in such a hurry to break up A-Town Down Under, you know what I mean? But it would be interesting to find out. Maybe, Austin Theory going out, being the next person to challenge the LA Knight, because right now this whole Carmelo Hayes thing, Andrade, it ended at Crown Jewel. So now that we're going to have a, different, load and bundle of storylines. Logan Paul also is expected to come back. And then we see a backstage promo on SmackDown with the Street Profits saying that we got next, and they are indeed fighting next week for the against the Motor City Machine Guns for those titles. Nick Aldis hits a women's promo. WWE has recently, well, not recently, but they've been proud of themselves on the way that their woman has been performing, and they have been performing at an excellent level. And they unveiled the new WWE Women's United States Championship. I thought that was pretty cool. Solo Sikoa acknowledgement ceremony. Didn't really even get a chance to say anything. Roman Reigns came out immediately, and Roman Reigns, he came out alone, and then even the fans in Buffalo, New York, were chanting "F you Solo." I thought that was kind of funny. War Games. He basically, seeing that you can find four of the people that can stand you. And then he was like, I got my fifth guy, my ball, and my dog, Sami Zayn. And then obviously trying to drive a wedge between Sami and Roman. Sami Zayn came out, kicked Solo Sikoa. At the end, you saw all four of them, Sami, Jay, Jimmy, Roman Reigns holding up their finger. We the ones is back. But for how long? Like I said, this alliance is still a little kind of tainted, still on the fritz. Could be a little rocky down the line until maybe they get their the wise man back, Paul Heyman, to kind of help them all kind of get straightened out. All right, guys. So, hey, that was my WWE Smackdown review. Now we're going to talk about some WWE Monday Night Raw. Can't wait to get into it when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here on the GSMC Sports Network to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. All the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain call, rumor, and drama. We also talked about, superstar news and active statuses, injury updates. We talked about contract extensions, negotiations, and new signings from promotions from WWE to AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Professional Wrestling, starting with the GCW, the NWA for makes major news headlines in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show, so make sure you stay tuned. That Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show, follow the show, and always follow the network. All right, before we get into our next segment, we're going to go ahead and make sure you guys hit up that super chat. Tell me guys how you feel tonight. Give me a shout out or where you're listening from. Maybe give me a highlight every weekend. Absolutely anything would be greatly appreciated. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But if you got a burning take or a hot question in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to get off your chest here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, and just want you guys to feel super comfortable, super open. You guys can trust us. You guys can trust. There is no such thing as a bad comment. Well, not like a bad comment. Obviously, be respectable, but there's no such thing as don't be insecure. This podcast is all about having fun. Of course, if you're not having fun watching it, then not have fun doing it. Like, what I mean? Would love to see you guys, a lot of audience engagement and stuff like that. So, but it's all about keeping the conversation, lively, making sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy, drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on this show, why not use that super chat? It's that $ sign below that chat box, whatever you put inside that box, is going to be featured and guaranteed to be talked about on the show 1010%. It's also a great way to support our channel. Your super chats helps us keep the lights on these amazing podcasts. And these passionate podcasters get to do what they love doing the most, bring you guys amazing content that you guys love so dang much. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. So thank you in advance. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat, not your thing. Go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. Like I said, peace, love, respect, positivity, 1010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. Criticisms will arise, debatable topics. But like I said, just at the end of the day, just be happy. Just be happy. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So make sure you guys, send in those super chats, those super stickers. So yeah, we can keep this podcast going on for a long, long time. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to a Monday Night Raw. Like I said, it has already aired on the East Coast, but I have not checked a single shred of social media, no TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or anything like that from for updates and whatever. But so yeah, let's go ahead and dig on into it. So most of the time, what I say, in terms of my conspiracy theories, I'm pretty sure if you've ever watched this podcast before, you're like, man, why is that guy saying that? There's no way that's gonna happen on Monday Night Raw. And if it already aired, it's like, oh my god, how does he know? I'm just kidding, no. But overall, it's yeah, just there's some people who actually don't, who haven't watched Monday Night Raw. I'm still a schmuck who pays for cable and I don't get it until 8 p.m. So, yeah. Monday Night Raw is going to be live tonight from the Von Andrea Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tonight we have a WWE Women's World Tag Team match. Bianca Belair are defending their titles against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I really think that there's no way in hell that Morgan and Rodriguez are going to win this match because, you already have the WWE, World Women's Champion. There's already like gold around her waist. Doubt they would give her a double belt. This is more or less just to kind of show the chemistry of Bianca and Jade and how well they get along together. And that Liv Morgan is definitely going to try to try to drive a wedge between them because during that women's battle royal you saw last Monday night on Raw, when it was Bianca and Jade, when they were face to face, left to kind of fight each other, the fans were into it. They were super excited. They want to see these two powerhouses go at it. They want to see these two, physical, amazing, specimens go at it. And being brutally honest, I think that'd be, pretty cool. Both of these girls are future, WWE Women's, champions. Obviously, Bianca's already established, singles competition gold, but Jade, ever since she came from AEW, she's landed in WWE, pretty well, and then she started working with Bianca. They've had, they developed an amazing chemistry. First and foremost, I definitely hated the idea of keeping these two women together, but they're kind of putting the women's tag team division on, kind of putting it on the board here, kind of making it more, kind of illuminating that sign that, you know, to get these titles, you kind of have to go above and beyond. You have to be, you kind of have to be a champion. Of course, like you can, well, now that the women's division on SmackDown has the women's United States Championship, like a mid card belt, but before then it's just the championship and then the tag team titles. So, it kind of makes it hard to kind of not muddy those waters or blur those lines between, they're singles wrestlers or hey, they're just tag team wrestlers and whatnot. So, it's going to be a great match. It's going to be an amazing match. Raquel Rodriguez is definitely one of my, one of my fan faves. I definitely, every single time she steps inside the ring, she kind of establishes this, dominating presence that could definitely gravitate most of the momentum toward the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Like maybe in a shocker they win, but I just don't see any reason why. I can see this match probably being, perhaps interrupted, which kind of sucks because I hate it. I hate it, especially in the women's division. I hate it once when there's a really good match going on then something happens, and then randomly, Jakara Jackson or Lash Legend come out, or Damage Control comes out, and then they just mess up the match and everything. But I don't know. It's gonna be a good match. Hope crossing my fingers that it ends. That it ends genuinely. Next, we have the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther to address Damien Priest, his challenger at Survivor Series. I think it's Survivor Series they're going to fight. But, that should be pretty badass. Bronson Reed, we're going to find out his implications of, him getting involved in costing Sheamus and Seth Rollins a chance at Gunther's title. It'd be kind of cool to kind of see a triple threat match. I know Sheamus isn't really going to let he's not really going to let this slide, but then Seth Rollins wants to get his hands on Bronson Reed as well. Maybe triple threat, maybe like a triple threat kind of thing, perhaps, maybe. I don't know. I feel like Bronson Reed right now, he's on his way to the top. Will he ever taste World Heavyweight Championship gold? Maybe. I know when it comes to like super heavyweights, which is like over 200 and like 50, 65 pounds, kind of like the Big Show, or kind of like, almost, big, or like the Great Khali, people like that, like they don't really get a lot of they don't really get a lot of love in WWE. They'll hold the title for a little bit, have this little dominating run, and then they'll lose it and never to kind of touch surface again. Like look at what happened with Braun Strowman is a great example as well. So, future champion, possibly, but Bronson Reed, he's a great competitor. And, we'd love to see these three guys go at it. That'd be awesome. The Miz, Uncle Howdy, will the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, come to the aid of The Miz? It's a possibility, but at the same time, The Miz, dude, like, so far that's the second person that the first one with Chad Gable obviously had a little bit of you know a kind of juggling his character a little bit, obviously going to the dark side, turning heel, and then immediately you had Uncle Howdy. The Miz recently turned on R-Truth, destroy the Awesome Truth, and then you saw Uncle Howdy kind of get into his head as well, obviously kidnapping him. It's we're gonna see another promo like that. Last time you saw The Miz, he was being, carried away. Was it Ramblin' Rabbit? I think it was, or Buzzard. I'm not too sure. Which is Joe? No, I think it was Dexter Loomis. I'm not too sure, but this storyline, it's gonna get good and it's gonna get better. So I can't wait to see what happens tonight. It's the New Day celebration of 10 years. Isn't it just fitting? Absolutely fitting that these guys are going to probably break up tonight, and I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. Because I know Big E's probably going to be there. Big E, well, maybe Big E's going to be there. And then, maybe you have like a little altercation between the two. But ultimately, like I said, the way the tag team division is ran right now, and like, what are the possible single storylines for Xavier Woods? Like, yeah, I could imagine it going for like maybe 3 to 6 months tops. Yes, I can see that happening. And Xavier Woods hasn't really established himself as like a singles gold holder. He's been the king of the ring, but Kofi and Big E they both won the WWE Championship. Kofi Kingston approaching 40. It's I don't know much his storylines. Once when I don't know. I just want to see it be. I just want to see it done good. I'm not saying that it's going to be bad. I'm not saying that these two guys establishing themselves as singles wrestlers. I just don't. Maybe I don't want it to be a little over the top, like a Kevin Owens kind of feel, where you see Xavier Woods, attack Kofi Kingston backstage and runs him over with, a car or something like you saw on AEW. Mercedes Moné and Camille ran over freaking Chris Statlander. But I don't know. I don't know. I just don't want to see anything, I guess, over the top. I guess that's the best way I could possibly put it. Like I was mentioning, in the last segment, will we see a women's intercontinental championship? We saw the United States championship. I don't know if it's going to be defended across both brands. In my opinion, I feel like it shouldn't be. I feel like, both brands should have a mid-card title. So I'm crossing my fingers that the women's in the Raw women's division get a intercontinental championship and mid-card belt as well. Drew McIntyre is advertised for Monday Night Raw. Will he come on? Obviously, there's speculation he got beat up pretty bad at that Hell in a Cell. Maybe that's the reason why he never really bleeds or blades in matches is because maybe he did it wrong and he just completely effed himself up. Maybe that's the reason why Drew McIntyre doesn't do that in his matches. But he's returning to Monday Night Raw, so we're gonna find out where he's at. We're gonna find out, with CM Punk being absent, probably up until I don't see CM Punk coming back for like to Monday Night Raw. I think the debut of Monday Night Raw on Netflix in January or Saturday night's main event. I don't see him coming back until then. Drew McIntyre can definitely develop another storyline. While CM Punk is away, I don't really want to see these two really go back at it. I would love to see Drew McIntyre actually wind up on SmackDown. That'd be pretty badass. And it would be pretty interesting to kind of see that all unfold. But I want to see McIntyre hold another championship because he was a WWE champion, obviously during the no crowd, the Thunderdome era of COVID and the pandemic. So he never really got that oomph in his or that main event kind of status in his career. So I would love to see him kind of come back to the top. Being the one to dethrone Gunther for his title would be probably the best way I can possibly put it. But now you kind of because can Seth do it? Can Seth really defeat Gunther? Because like I said, I'm pretty sure WrestleMania 41, you're gonna have Seth Rollins taking on CM Punk for that WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You know, um, maybe that could definitely happen, or maybe he's the one to kind of fight and dethrone Gunther. But I don't know. He's both of the I feel like the main eventers on Raw have been, they've been good. They've been really, really good. So I can't wait to find out. We have more bad blood between the LWO and American Made. Zelina Vega, also Ivy Nile, probably going to find themselves into, in a backstage brawl or like a promo, or maybe they have an impromptu match tonight. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. Braun Breaker, who's his next challenger? We should find out tonight. WWE Tag Team Title match, the Judgment Days. JD McDonough and Finn Balor, which is, congratulations on 10 years of being in the WWE, Finn. That's awesome. Going up against the War Raiders. I'm not sure if this match has not been advertised online or on WWE.com, so I'm just kind of throwing it out there, maybe because I don't really see them holding this match off until Survivor Series. Maybe they hold off until Survivor Series, but I don't know. It's going to be an amazing episode of Monday Night Raw. I can't wait to watch it as soon as I get done with the podcast and talk about it tomorrow. So don't miss tomorrow's shows, guys. It's gonna be pretty sick when we talk about all this. All right, WWE Women's United States Championship has been unveiled, has been introduced into this lovely world of professional wrestling. These women needed a mid card belt, freaking 10 years ago, so we're going to talk about maybe some potential title holders and maybe some storylines that's going to kind of gravitate and kind of develop if they win the championship. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about like 20 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, and we're back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here, your favorite wrestling fan, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Here to talk about the greatest thing in the world on the GSMC Sports Network. We're going to talk about professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, and drama. We talk about superstar inactive statuses, injury updates. We talked about contract negotiations, extensions, and signings for promotions from WWE to AEW to New Japan Professional Wrestling to the CMLL for mixed major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talked about it here on this show, 1010%. So yeah, don't miss a single shred of the action. All right, just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Smackdown review, and then we talked about some WWE Monday Night Raw talk, and now we're going to jump on into some potential WWE storylines with this Women's Championship. You know, with the creation of the championship, which is definitely should have been done a long time ago, but I guess in the spirit of in the spirit of all the holidays or whatever you would like to call it, I guess it's better late than never. You know what I mean? Um, but obviously, if you guys have a if you guys have a thought, hit up that super chat. Tell me how y'all feel. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And thank you guys in advance. You guys are amazing. Definitely can't do this without you guys. It's a great way to support the channel. Great, just keep these amazing podcasters bringing you the content that you guys love so darn much. So, obviously your support makes all the difference. So send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. All right. So we have a United States Women's Championship unveiled. It looks nice. It looks pretty cool. Kind of looks like the men's, but I think it's I think it's like silver. I think it might be silver. So yeah, General Manager Nick Aldis on Friday Night SmackDown has unveiled the new WWE Women's United States Championship finally, and the main question that's kind of driving through everybody's mind in the WWE universe or just wrestling, the wrestling community. Will it be only exclusive to the Blue brand? Will it be I don't know. Like, will it be defended like the women's tag team titles? I certainly kind of hope not. But then again, to kind of add prestige to this title, having both brands kind of go for it, maybe, possibly, could be, it could make sense. But I don't know. I think if you have a United States Championship, there needs to be the Intercontinental. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like if there was just going to be a mid card women's belt, it would be like, they would have had a different name for it or something like that. Like the light heavyweight or the featherweight or whatever you want to call it. The fact that it's the United States Championship kind of gives me vibes that there's going to be an Intercontinental Women's Championship unveiled on tonight's Monday Night Raw. But obviously, like I said, all speculations. Obviously, a lot of conspiracy theorizing around. I'm just kidding, but let's go ahead and talk about who will possibly be the inaugural champion. I can, I did my bad. Nick Aldis looking good right there. All right, Tiffany Stratton. She'd be a great mid card holder, but she's the woman's Money in the Bank. Maybe, and just maybe she finds a way to, maybe they finally have a winner of the United States Women's Championship, and then she cashes in on them, which would be so stupid. But the storyline between her and Nia Jax right now, it's all right. It's all right. And there has been talks of when Charlotte Flair returns to SmackDown, her, and Tiffany Stratton ultimately kind of feuding. They kind of do have the same, in-ring styles, kind of have the same like physique and stuff like that. They're very strong, they're yet athletic. So, obviously that would be a pretty good feud between those two, 1,010%. But I wouldn't understand. I feel like Tiffany right now has to kind of go big or go home. She has to be thinking like, championship or bust. Because like I said before, right now the men's briefcase, sorry, excuse me, the men's Money in the Bank briefcase was wasted on this whole CM Punk and Drew McIntyre rivalry. So, obviously we don't have that excitement. This cash in has to basically compensate for both the men's and the women's Money in the Bank briefcase cash in. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, I'm not trying to put too much pressure on WWE or Tiffany Stratton that you have to win or whatever. But if WWE really wants to push Tiffany, she has to win. She has to, when she cashes in, she's the new champion. And I think he needs to be against Nia Jax. You're kind of setting this up. They've been kind of setting this up for quite some time. She teased cashing in on Nia Jax way too many times already. And now you have Nia kind of, during promos, kind of treating her like dirt, grabbing her by the throat, physically attacking, harming, verbally, and insulting and stuff like that. So definitely can't wait to see what they decide to do with Tiffany Stratton. But as for the women's United States champion, I don't think it makes sense. Bianca Belair, yes, 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 this could happen. This could happen, but right now, her and Jade have such a beautiful thing, and they kind of, a lot of people were kind of, week after week after week, being like, all right, this is when, they're gonna lose the title. This is when they're gonna, this is when they're going to break up. Like once when you have the, the unholy union holding the championships, they're like, okay, now they're gonna break up Bianca and Jade finally, so they can fight in singles competition. So I definitely think that she's going to be the WWE Women's United States Champion down the line. I don't think the inaugural one, being brutally honest, but I would be open for it. And obviously, kind of the same Oh, somewhere kind of the same reaction to Jade as well. Why would she win the championship ultimately to kind of break up this tag team that her and Bianca have, that it's been successful, and why all of a sudden, you're gonna break them up when they're putting the women's tag team division on, on the map right now. So, like I said, she's kind of the queen. She was the queen of AEW's, women's mid card belt, the TBS champion. She's the longest reigning TBS champ. So I think that was pretty damn cool. And she's gonna definitely, like I said with Bianca, she's gonna be a future WWE Women's United States Championship holder. So let's not get too crazy. And technically, her and Bianca are drafted to SmackDown. So if they do unveil like an Intercontinental Championship tonight on Monday Night Raw for the women's, it's kind of off limits. I think the only reason why they're kind of jumping from brand to brand is because they're the women's world tag team champions. Now, something that makes sense. Naomi, she's going to fight Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship next week on SmackDown. It makes sense for Naomi to. I See, the only thing that kind of concerns me about Naomi, and I'm not trying to sound effed up, or I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but I don't know. She's not old. No, no, she's not old. She's not too old. She's not too old. She's not like, because it seems like whenever she's kind of put in this big spot, she doesn't really ever like come out the champion, the victor. When the pressure's on, it seems like she kind of shrivels up. You know, I thought Naomi was gonna go through a character change when she came back to WWE, but then she still kind of came back with the whole glow thing, glow, glow, glow. Yeah, that's cool and all, but right now I feel like with her being successful and kind of taking the next step in her career, you know, I don't think it's gonna happen. Now, like I said, I'm kind of sad to say it. Can she be a women's United States champion? Yes. Can she be like a sweetheart champion like Kaylani Jordan was for NXT? Definitely. It would be that's kind of reminds me of maybe that's what kind of champion she could be, because Naomi, she does win matches. She does win matches. She's not losing week after week after week. So putting the title on her won't be too crazy. Wouldn't be too nuts. So and she would have there'd be so many storylines that would open up on SmackDown in the women's division if Naomi was the babyface champion. Bayley, once again, I feel like she could definitely be the Women's United States Championship holder. Her and Naomi kind of make the title prestigious, maybe fighting back and forth, kind of like where you saw Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks in the past. That would be interesting. That would be pretty cool to see if they kind of create like prestige in the championship, that way. But ever since Bayley has become a babyface, she's being loved by the WWE Universe, fans all over the world of professional wrestling. She posts on social media very often. I wouldn't be surprised if they put the title on her simply because how marketable Bayley is, and I don't know why, but people overseas in Saudi Arabia, Scotland, France, wherever the WWE goes, that's not in the United States, fans really warm up to Bayley. So Possibly this could be this babyface champion, as well as Naomi would be the United States Championship, like representing your country, the United States Championship. Kind of gives me like, Hulk Hogan, I am a real American. And then like Bayley comes out too, obviously you see those, the Macho Man Randy Savage straps and the jet, like Bayley's old school. She's old school wrestling. So it wouldn't surprise me if, you kind of put a championship that's kind of a little bit old school. The United States Championship was in the NWA, the WCW. They made its way to WWE. So, maybe we can see Bayley holding on to the championship. I definitely think so. Blair Davenport's kind of like a wild card. She hasn't really been featured on the brand ever since being drafted and kind of creating this alliance with the Unholy Union when they were the champion. We haven't really seen them on air either on television. But Blair Davenport could definitely be. But then again, that means you would have two heel champions, and I don't really think that's the way. I don't know. Maybe that's not the way it should be. I guess you can say. But then again, right now you kind of have the LA Knight being babyface, and you have Cody being babyface. So maybe it could happen. Maybe in the women's division they just have, they have bad guys or heels holding on to the championships. But Blair Davenport would be an interesting pick. Chelsea Green, maybe. I feel like that'd be great for her career. I feel like she's paid her dues in WWE. She plays the part. She can look amazing inside the ring. She can, when she plays serious, she could definitely, pick up some dubs. But most of the time she does come out, comedic sketches and stuff like, she's very like in your face. Kind of reminds me of like an Alicia Fox when she was back in WWE. But and she kind of has that Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, like that, her left hand woman being Piper Niven, holding on to that champion. Like I could see it happening, and I would love to see Chelsea Green kind of go through a character shift. I want to see her, I want to see her get serious. I feel like she'd be a great, serious champion, and she's like really antagonistic, and she's really in your face about, her accomplishments, and that would be, kind of it would be cool. It'd be funny, but in a like not because she sucks at wrestling, because she doesn't, or that she's like, just for, comedy. But it would be kind of funny in terms of, she would piss some people off, kind of like when you had Kevin Owens, the Universal Champion. I think that would be with Chris Jericho. I thought they had some pretty comedic sketches that were pretty funny. So definitely would love to see Chelsea Green, in that, kind of in that area. Electra Lopez, a couple of weeks ago on Friday Night SmackDown, Legado del Fantasma kind of talked to, Nick Aldis, being like, hey, like, where's our shots? Well, what's going on? Like, and Nick Aldis even said, like, in the future, you're going to get some opportunities. And, then he looked at Electra Lopez. He's like, yeah, even you. So this could possibly be a way for Electra to make her way onto the scene on SmackDown, because so far she's just been kind of like that, kind of like that manager, kind of like that lackey, and in terms of the group. And I hate that for her. I remember her in NXT. She was gifted. So I would love to see her kind of take the next step in her relationship. This would definitely be, a new rising star, Electra Lopez, also representing, holding the United States Championship, definitely as, from her culture as well. So I think that would be, pretty cool. Mi Chen definitely could be a United States Women's Championship holder as well. Um, I do feel like she would definitely create like an innovative style. I feel like, because you kind of have her, doing the dumpster matches, you have her doing the street fights, you have her implementing like, hardcore styles inside these rings and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to kind of see Michin hold the title. I feel like it would be definitely it'd be cool. Natalia's always she's always a viable option, especially when you're trying to create the title's prestige, trying to make it seem like it's like a crown jewel championship or something like that. But and Natalia's always agree. She's great inside the ring. Obviously, I don't completely love her mic skills, but that's just my opinion. But she could definitely hold the title. And she could definitely fight some of the women in terms of the main event kind of categories, like Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and kind of make it seem like it's possible. And also we gotta talk about some of the injured superstars that are coming back. Charlotte Flair could definitely hold this championship. Could definitely, oh man, she would be probably the right fit for the inaugural WWE Women's United States Champion. And that's just being honest. I know a lot of people might not love it because every single time Bianca Belair makes it onto the stage, she always all she does is win, 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 no matter what. So, some people could, take that a little offensively, but for me, I'm like, Asuka, I don't think she's gonna come back to SmackDown. Like I said, if this title is being defended on both the red and the blue brand, maybe. But I see this girl, kind of linking up with Damage Control once again with their partners Io Sky and Kyrie Sane on Monday Night Raw, and kind of creating storylines from that. But she'd be a great champion as well. Alexa Bliss coming back to SmackDown would be pretty cool, be pretty badass. I personally would love to see her make a debut on Monday Night Raw and be the next one to challenge Liv Morgan because their wrestling styles are kind of alike. They have the same they're same height, same physique, same like if you saw like the tail of the tape for UFC, like the reach, their tactical style inside the ring. They get on the top rope and they're not afraid to kind of like go out of their comfort zone to try to do what it takes to win, and sometimes maybe bend the rules a little bit. But obviously, that's the reason why Alexa Bliss has been so successful. Becky Lynch. I don't think Becky's coming back until the first episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Maybe that's a big reason they're like, we're gonna have this tournament, and maybe she becomes a finalist, and it's the last one, the last match, the finals match to determine the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. But then again, I don't think she's drafted to Monday Night. No, I think I think she is drafted to Raw. I think she is. So when she comes back, she has to be on Raw. So, maybe, just maybe, but I'm not United States champion, maybe. Carmella, when Carmella comes back, she's still on the WWE page, she could definitely be a viable option of holding the title as well. Would be super cool. I definitely love her style when she was definitely inside, WWE. So, obviously can't wait for her to come back. She was, she's kind of like that Chelsea Green, kind of feel inside the ring, and also her promo skills and her mic skills are very, very, sensational. So I can't wait to see her, see, Mella is money come back. All right, guys, so we do not go anywhere. We talked about the United States Championship now, but like I said, it might not happen on Monday Night Raw. They might unveil a WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship finally, and we're gonna talk about some competitors on Monday Night Raw that can hold the championship. So yeah, get ready for that. And hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, or welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network. We talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, injury updates, and active statuses in terms of superstars, also contract negotiations, new signings, and extensions. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW, TNA, New Japan Professional Wrestling. We go out to the CMLL. It makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show 1,010%. So make sure you guys, click that like and subscribe button so you guys can tune in, Monday through Friday. All right, we're just gonna reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Friday Night SmackDown review, and now we talked about Monday Night Raw as well. We talked about some possible title holders for the United States for the WWE Women's United States Championship that was recently unveiled by Nick Aldis on Friday. So now like I said, we're gonna play around a little bit, kind of assuming that they unveiled the United States Women's Championship on SmackDown. Maybe they're gonna have a WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship unveiled tonight. Maybe Adam Pearce is gonna have that. Perhaps, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe yes. So we're gonna play around with that a little bit. So let's go ahead and talk about it. And we're gonna talk about these women that could definitely hold the Intercontinental Championship. Lash Legend has been absolutely, sorry, excuse me, has been absolutely impressive. She's been super impressive ever since, she kind of flips back and forth from Monday Night Raw, having her feud with her and Jakara Jackson, taking on Damage Control. I feel like she would be an amazing champion. I know right now she's technically on NXT, but I did read an article saying that, we could possibly see Metaphor come to the main roster, and on SmackDown, I feel like, not the most room for them in the women's division on Raw. I feel like they would make more waves, kind of more of like a bigger bounce, so to speak. So yeah, I could definitely think that I definitely love that she could possibly be the inaugural WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. I think that she has the talent. I think that she has the strength. She has the mic skills, and she has that it factor to her. When you look at her, I see champion. I definitely see champion. I don't see anything less. I think her and what she's doing with Metaphor and what she's doing on WWE NXT is pretty cool. I know recently she's been uh I think it's Instagram, I'm not too sure, or Twitter, where she hosts like a cooking show with like where she invites NXT stars, and I love it. I think it's super funny. I think it's great idea for WWE to kind of branch out and have kind of something like that. At first, you're kind of like, she had Roxanne Perez on a little bit, and I kind of had a little bit of a, kind of that old school wrestling fan in me be like, oh, destroying kayfabe. But at the end of the day, you're like, hey, get over it. This is this is entertainment. So I thought that was actually kind of cool. But definitely Lash Legend. Lash Legend could definitely be the new WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. Raquel Rodriguez, like her partner Liv Morgan is the WWE World's Women's Heavyweight Champion, so I don't really see the need to kind of put more gold around this this tandem. But Raquel, she could definitely be not a United States, sorry, excuse me, a WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, and United States if they didn't unveil a Intercontinental Women's Championship, maybe what I'm talking about, in terms of the women's that could compete on Monday Night Raw for the Intercontinental it could be the same story of them competing for the United States Championship in the women's division as well. So once again, Raquel Rodriguez, I'm a huge fan favorite. I was so happy to see her come back, kind of get her medical issues, taken care of. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's all about her health. Hopefully that she's going to be around. She's going to be wrestling inside the WWE for a very long time, because WWE is better when they have her on the main roster and, obviously on WWE television. So, Raquel Rodriguez could definitely hold the title. Not really much of a shock there. Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria, recently made, and when she got drafted this Monday Night Raw, she made it far in the women's, Queen of the Ring. She was the finalist going up against Nia Jax. She, she started off hot. She started off very like promising. Recently she has kind of taken a couple of steps back, kind of not really in the driver's seat anymore, kind of like in the back seat in terms of these storylines. And I haven't really been seeing her on being broadcast mainly on the main storylines, because before then you would have her like when she came out, obviously she was the final two with her and Io Sky were the final two to determine the next challenger for Liv Morgan's World Heavyweights Championship. So, I definitely think she could be champion. She could definitely be an Intercontinental United States Women's Champion, hold a mid-card belt. I would love to see that for her. I definitely think, whenever she's inside the ring, she, it's a must watch. The moves that she does, the fact that she can yet, kind of be a little dominant inside the ring. Sometimes she finds a way to kind of, you know, she has a way to kind of control the tempo inside the match, inside the ring with her competitor, which is super cool, which is, kind of shocking. I'm not hating on her size, by the way. I'm like 5'6", so I have, no room to talk. But like, because of her size and stuff, kind of like Selena Vega, when she's inside the ring, they're still kicking ass and they're still like, and I might be like, like you know, a foot shorter than a lot of these people. Like I remember I was loving watching Io Sky talk trash to Last Legend, and Last Legend was kind of just like looking down at her. I was like, oh my god, I feel so mean for like smiling at but I don't know. It's it's wrestling. It's professional wrestling. But like I said, size doesn't matter. It's what you can do inside the ring. So heck yeah. Sonya Deville. See, this is something that definitely, makes sense. She has a stable around her right now. The Pure Fusion Collective has been, like the Fatal Influence before Fallon Henley defeated Kehlani Jordan at Halloween Havoc. It's been just dead. It's been unmotivated. It's been, I feel like it's been kind of, it's been underproduced. The storylines hasn't really come into quota. Hasn't really come to fruition. It just looks like I don't know. It doesn't look like it's working. It doesn't look like it's working, and it's a damn shame because Zoe Stark is impressive. Shayna Baszler is impressive. I thought this Pure Fusion collective faction could definitely do well for all three of these girls. But yet, it's just been underperformed, man. Just been, overbooked. Seems like they're trying too hard to make it seem like Sonya Deville is just this badass, like, oh, she's the manager, but at the same time, she can get her hands dirty. And then every single time she loses. And every single time that they win, they have to, like, kind of like cheat to win. You know what I mean? So, she could definitely hold be a women's mid card title holder, whether it is this new WWE Women's Intercontinental or United States Championship. So, I have faith. I do have faith. The Zelina Vega, like, we were talking about Zelina Vega. I could see her holding the title. She has a really great repertoire in terms of the fans. This would do wonders for the LWO because so far it seems like their storyline is just kind of floating around on Monday Night Raw. You don't really have the tag team doing anything. Rey Mysterio right now. Now you kind of have this feud between her and American Made, and Ivy Nile. Like I definitely think she could hold the championship. This kind of seems like, kind of her style, kind of like what's the right word? Not like kind of like I guess kind of like the underdog. Kind of like that mentality. Like I don't know, and it'd be good for her career. And Selena Vega, she loves WWE. She obviously gives it 1,010% of, that's who she is. That's, she wants to be remembered to be a champion, but, WWE hasn't really given her like any breaks, really that much opportunities. But, as of right now, she did fight Rhea Ripley and she had a decent match and it was kind of cool. That was when Rhea was kind of going, she was like full heel. Then you saw, I think, wasn't it at WrestleMania? No, I don't think it was. Maybe it was. No, it was Puerto Rico. What was in Puerto Rico? WrestleMania Backlash? That was quite some time ago. Damn. But overall, I feel like she'd be a great champion. I think that WWE is still gonna do wonders for her in the future. Ivy Nile, love her. Love the angle that she has right now. Love that she turned heel against Maxine Dupree. But in all realisticness, I don't really see her holding a single championship. Io Sky, if she is unsuccessful against her championship match against Liv Morgan, maybe she could be a shoe-in for this for a mid-card women's belt. Whether it is the United States Championship or the WWE Women's Intercontinental. Like I said, that might be unveiled tonight, might not be, but she could definitely be. She's something special. Kairi Singh as well. Kairi Singh could definitely hold a singles championship. She's May. I think she was a Mae Young Classic winner. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But definitely love and love. I want to keep calling her Io Sky. Why? I definitely, love Kairi Sane. I think she's gonna do wonders inside, WWE. And obviously talking about the, possible women returning, kind of like what I did with the United States Championship. Charlotte Flair, she's been rumored to kind of find her way back to SmackDown. I don't really think she would step foot inside Monday Night Raw. So maybe Asuka, possibly, it'd be kind of cool to see her hold a mid card title because, in my opinion, she's a champion. She's a champion from day one. You know, she was the longest reigning. I think she's the longest reigning women's NXT champion. I'm not too sure. She has she had that long win streak before she lost to Charlotte Flair. But overall, yeah, I think she'd be great. Alexa Bliss would be fantastic to hold the belt as well. Becky Lynch, I don't think she's going to return until the first episode on Monday Night Raw and Netflix. So I think they might have a champion crowned by then. The finals would probably take place on WWE Saturday night's main event. It's gonna make it into this giant, tournament, kind of like the Queen of the Ring, but it's gonna be something big. It's gonna be something big. Carmella, possibly. I mostly see her returning to SmackDown though. Don't really see her coming to Monday Night Raw. But although it would be interesting, I don't think she's been on Raw ever since she did that. Wait, no, I could be wrong. Maybe I could be wrong. Most important, most first and foremost, I think she's always been a SmackDown kind of superstar. When she was with Big Cass and Enzo Amore with the Certified G's, I think that's the last time I saw him on Night Raw. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. All right, guys, we talked about the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Maybe, maybe not. Uh, now we're going to talk about some good old-fashioned wrestlers who served in the military. Today is Veterans Day. Hope you guys had an amazing day. Those who enjoyed a 3-day weekend, lucky you guys. Hope you guys, got a nice little barbecue, kind of nice buzz off some beer. Root beer, that is, of course. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. Don't leave the podcast. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. No, so we're gonna talk about some wrestlers who served in the military when we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere. All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here, your favorite wrestling fan every Monday through Friday, talking about professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring. Um, all the, backstage curtain calls, rumors. We talk about injury updates in terms of, superstars in an active status. We talk about their contracts, sometimes, contract extensions, new signings for promotions from WWE. Talk about AEW, talk about Ring of Honor, talk about basically anything that makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show on the GSMC Sports Network Monday through Friday. So do not miss it. Don't remember. Don't forget. Don't forget to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network. So yeah, you guys can find out some cool wrestling factoids, and definitely I'll be here waiting for you guys. 1,010%. All right, so let's go and jump on into this fifth segment. First and foremost, like I said, happy Veterans Day. Hope you guys had an amazing day. If you have family who served, tell them thank you. If you served, thank you for your sacrifice, your dedication, and everything you've done for this country. You help support, help keep my family safe. So definitely love and respect you guys. Give yourself a nice pat on the back, which wish I could, send, all the love your guys' way. I would definitely do that 1,010%. But, it might be a little too late right now, but Veterans Day, you could have got a free cup of coffee at Starbucks. Maybe take out a veteran to get a free cup of coffee. At Chili's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Applebee's, you could have got some free food if you were a veteran. Definitely, so if you're if you're a late dinner kind of guy, maybe you can still find yourself at an Applebee's tonight. Who knows? I love Applebee's. I'll go to Applebee's at like 1 in the morning. Screw it. Why not? Also, if you went to BJ's Brew House, you could have got a free Pizookie at the end of your meal. Pizookies are actually pretty damn good. I cannot lie. But yeah, so take out a veteran, tell them how appreciative you are for them going to war, so you can enjoy all the finer things here in the States while they go out there and serve the country and fight for our freedom. So obviously, love and congratulations. Thank you guys so much for being amazing. All right, so let's talk about some of these wrestlers who served in the military. First and foremost, I got to be honest, some of these actually did shock me, especially the last one. I had no idea, which we're gonna get into. But Road Dog Jesse James. Oh, you didn't know? I didn't know that you were in the military. That's crazy. Road Dogg, he put his career on hold after his first wrestling match. I think it was in 1994, 1995. He joined the U.S. Marine Corps, and it's just kind of crazy. I was like, you know what? I kind of got my foot in the door in professional wrestling, and then I'm gonna, I got to go serve my country. You know what I mean? Definitely, love and respect that. Though, that's cool for the Road Dogg Jesse James. Zeb Coulter, obviously, you guys remember him being the right hand man, the manager of Jack Swagger when he was doing the All American thing, and he was very vocal. He's had his crunch time in terms of WWE, but he served in the Vietnam War. And that's crazy, especially during the Vietnam. It was obviously I wasn't born during that time, but I did a lot of research. So, definitely did some. Definitely did some book reports on the Vietnam War, and it was just, war is just, it's bad. When it comes to war, it's always bad. Innocent innocent people dying, and not trying to get political on this podcast. Gonna keep it straight up wrestling, but even for all the fallen veterans out there, definitely sending you my condolences, and thank you for your service as well. So yeah, Zeb Colton, man, that's crazy. Stephen Cutler, he was on NXT. He was in the Marines. He was a machine gun. He was a machine gunner from the 0331 Infantry with the 2nd Battalion in the 8th Marines Weapons Company. He was honorably discharged, so I definitely think that's 1,010% super cool. Next is Jesse the Body Ventura. I had no idea he was the governor from Minnesota. I see, that's how much I really honestly don't pay attention to like politics or anything like that. But I know Kane is he was doing his things with Tennessee. You remember Jesse Ventura, definitely color commentator with Vince McMahon during the 80s. He was part of the U.S. Navy. He was stationed in the Philippines during the Vietnam War as well. So he was part of that that gruesome war as well. Randy Orton. Randy Orton's kind of a funny story. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. He left a year later. It wasn't really his thing. He was like, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna, step in the footsteps of my father, Cowboy Bob Orton. So, definitely, I thought that was kind of interesting. But Randy Orton, man, thank you for going out there, man. That's cool. Montez Ford, he was in the Marine Corps. He served from 2008 to 2012. He handled, defense travel system plans for the Marines, and I think he used to train. He used to be a trainer too, so I think that's definitely you can totally tell by Montez Ford. Like this guy has something special around him. I did a segment about him being a future WWE champion, being the future face of WWE. So he has that it factor to him, and it's no surprise that he kind of has that leadership quality, kind of have that all eyes on me mentalities, because once when you serve inside the military, you get highly disciplined. You I don't know, you just you kind of become I have a lot of friends that served in the military. Humble, super humble. Same time, they want to lift you up. Obviously, if they're going across seas to kind of fight for their country and fight for their people, just like you and me. Obviously, you know that these guys have a heart of gold. So you can tell that with Montez Ford. And that's why I think that's what makes him kind of so special. So definitely, I definitely love that. I thought that was pretty cool. Classy Freddie Blassie. My man was in the military. That's crazy. He was a manager for Hulk Hogan, the Iron Sheik, and even Muhammad Ali. He fought in World War II. He's a veteran of the U.S. Navy. He was in the Pacific Theater. He won 7th Naval District Championships for boxing and wrestling. So this guy was a badass. That's kind of cool. Yeah, sometimes you look at these people and you're like, man, like, who would have thought it? Classy Freddie Blassie, total shock. But he fought Kevin Nash. Look at that young stud right there. Kevin Nash. Who would have thought he would have been on a Magic Mike? I'm just kidding. No, not that I watched it, guys. I was basically dragged to it. I'm just kidding. No, moving on. But Kevin Nash, he was an NCAA basketball player. He was playing in Europe where he actually injured his knee. I think he was playing in Germany. He enlisted in the United States military. He was part of the 202 second military police stationed in NATO, like by the NATO facility. So he had a lot of responsibility. How to protect NATO, man. That's badass. I think that's Kevin Nash. Who would have thought the NWO would go from this thug, this punk, and it's like, oh, he actually served in the military. Oh, it's crazy. I feel like that kind of gives people more of a, especially if you're trying to pursue like, acting or like something like professional wrestling. I feel like that also like helps you kind of break out of your skin a little bit, kind of definitely, helps you in terms of like when you're going on the road, traveling 365 days like these guys, doing that, what professional wrestlers do. So, being away from home that much time is just, oh God, that would be absolute killer. But Kevin Nash, man, I'm gotta be honest, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Nash. Lacey Evans, she was in the United States Marines. She was part of the SWAT team, man. That's crazy. Man, SWAT. That basically, once when you have to get those, go get them guys, that they put their lives on the line. They're going out there, these guys are complete badasses at what they do. They're highly trained, they're highly effective. That's why she was such a great wrestler. I definitely, if she comes back to WWE, that'd be pretty badass. But Lacey Evans, I remember what was her finishing move? Damn it! Oh, the woman's right. The woman's right to be like, bam, right in the face for America. Damn, I'm just kidding. No, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty badass. Lacey Evans in the Marine as a SWAT team. I remember watching the movie SWAT, and I'm not trying to paint a picture of this is how it actually is. Obviously it's not what you see in the movies, but I don't know. It's just if it's anything close to like the stuff that they had, did on that movie, that's a lot of BS, man. That's crazy. But all in all, like somebody's got to do it. The brave, not the faint of heart, like I am. I don't know why. Like I don't think I would be able to serve in the military. I feel like I would be my first day in basic training, and then the drill sergeant would yell at me to get up and do 20 push-ups, and then I start crying. I'd be like, "I have to make my bed." I'm just kidding, no, no, but I don't know. It's just like I said, it's not for everybody, but those who do it, obviously love and respect you guys. Thank you guys so much. Bobby Lashley, my man, Bobby Lashley, not in the WWE anymore, but he's on AEW with the Hurt Syndicate, but still obviously throwing all my love to my man Bobby Lashley when he came back to WWE. I most definitely thought he was going to be something special, man. I thought he was going to be something special, but they fumbled his character and they didn't really do well with him. He was a sergeant in the United States Army following the footsteps of his father. He won a gold medal in freestyle wrestling. So, obviously that's where you get your background from. Like sometimes you fulfill this destiny and go on this journey that's called life. And sometimes you endure some things. Sometimes you go through these experiences that could open possible doors for something better in the future. So, when he applied to WWE, they're like, you know what, give me this guy right now. When he first started in WWE, he was a beast, man. He was complete. I think it was 2005. I think 2005, 2006. Yeah, no, he was a beast. He was amazing. And sad to see him leave WWE, but I think it's for the best. It's going to be for his, the betterment of his future. Steve Macklin at TNA also served in the military. Kind of have to wrap this up faster than I gotta, anticipate running out of time. I got my boy Emran's GSMC Soccer podcast. Actually, no, I think today he starts another podcast. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. We got Perry Saturn as well in the military. And I don't know if you guys remember that one. He was part of the Radicals with Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and Dean Malenko. Actually, it's kind of crazy how this guy. He saw a girl being like mugged and taken advantage of on the side of the road, and he pulled over and he saved her. But then he got I think he got shot or stabbed or something like that, and which effed him up like for the rest of his life. And now he's like, I don't know, it's it's kind of crazy, but being a hero across seas, being a hero here in the United States. Thank you, Perry Saturn. Um, Trish Adora from her Ring of Honor, from the infantry. I think also the infantry, the tag team was, I was gonna put them on here, but I was looking, I was doing research, and I couldn't really find anything. So I was like, I don't want to say somebody was in the military when they weren't, which is a shock. But which John Cena, I was like, John Cena, the way he is in terms of like, he looks like he's from the military with with the buzz cut, the hustle, loyalty, and respect, always wearing camouflage. I definitely thought he was like in the military, but I guess he never was. Never was. But he's always been a huge promoter. He's always been a huge supporter of the troops. Vern Gagne. Vern Gagne also, you guys remember Vern Gagne. Also Conan from the Filthy Animals in WCW. He was in the military too. And the last one, and this is such a shock to me. Oh my god, this should be the biggest shock ever. Sergeant Slaughter was, had, I think they said had something to do in the army. I'm not too sure, but it's kind of based on his character that he was in WWE. You kind of knew something. I was like, I think they even said something about in the Vince McMahon documentary. They're like, oh, when Slaughter came, was it the Vince? I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But it was like, it's just kind of money, with like a U.S. background and stuff like that. Sometimes things just click. Sometimes, it creates storylines, personas portrayed in kayfabe, but in reality as well. Sometimes, the realness of life comes and, floods the storylines and floods the creativity of WWE. So definitely think that's definitely pretty cool. Definitely pretty cool. All right, guys. So, hey, that's it for me. Hope you guys had a great time watching this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also, follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So, yeah, make sure you guys tune into all these amazing shows. Like I always say, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have all these other podcasts that you can definitely watch. We have All Around Sports with Jeremy. We have the Fantasy Footballs for all you fantasy footballers out there who want to find out your stardoms, your sit-ins, who to pick up off the waiver wire. Tune into Chris Shepard's GSMC Fantasy Sports Show. We have football podcasts as well, GSMC Football Podcast with Kenneth. We also have the Chip Shot Football Podcast with Manny. We got college football taking the world by storm every Saturday. I think they have games on Friday nights. I think so. I'm not a huge college football. I'm trying to get into it. But, the first step, you definitely watch a GSMC College Football Podcast with my boy Tommy doing his thing. So, definitely, don't be afraid to, step out of your comfort zone and watch something, super badass, super cool. A lot of, these guys do amazing things, when they host a podcast. So definitely, love and respect. Those are my dogs, and, wish them all the best. All right, guys. So, like I said, happy Veterans Day. Once again, thank you guys so much for those who have served. Love, respect, hustle, loyalty, and respect. And I will end the show by singing our nation's national anthem. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not going to do that. Stay beautiful, guys. And, like always, I love you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.